Hi, I'm Tom Hayes, and we're back again, continuing our stories, our discussions, great dialogue with Bobby Seibel. While we're on our break, a couple of things that sort of jog your memory. St. Vincent de Paul, Father Doyle, was it?
Well, here's what happened. I grew up in a Catholic environment, and I went to Catholic schools all the way up to first year of college, Merrimack, then I went to BU and converted. And I ended up at Salem. But when I was a little kid, I couldn't resist breaking the class up. And the nuns were super. People talk about the nuns were abusive. I had a ball. Not one priest ever bothered me. I had the greatest priest and this poor guy, Father Doyle. My mother, naturally, my dad was dead, and I was like, whatever the hell age you get to be when you get curious about what's this, what's that stuff. So my mother sent me to Father Doyle. And as a kid, I loved reading the dictionary, and I loved to impress with words. And I never knew when to use the word at the proper time. I went down to Sacred Heart at the rectory, and I was sitting there with Father Doyle, and he said, Bob, your mother wants me to describe what, birds and bees, whatever the hell, the diplomatic way of saying it. And I said, yes, Father. And he's trying to explain to me about girls and boys, and this is a true story. I never saw a priest. He almost choked to death from laughing. And I'm waiting for him to hit me. He said, well, how do you feel about girls? And in my little twisted brain, whatever, 12, 13, I said, this is the time I could use this word. I went, Father, I'm very prostituted to girls. The guy was gone. He was like, he called my mother. He said, Mr. Seibel, you have to teach him at the house. I can't take it no more. True story. I'm very prostituted. I thought I hit a home run. The guy went down. He couldn't believe what I just said. That's what he said. Boy, that's not quite where you use that word. I found out later when I went to the combat zone where you use that word.
No, were you trying to say predisposed? What was the word?
No, I don't know what the word prostitute, girl, prostitute. I couldn't get the damn thing right.
So what was the thing about St. Vincent de Paul?
Okay. I went to St. Mary's Boys High School. They were segregated, so you could see the girls through the windows, and I'd see at the dance. And the nuns would go around with the swagger sticks, so you wouldn't get any extensions during the dance. So now, they had a St. Vincent de Paul drive, which was a charity for clothes. And we would store all the clothes in the basement of St. Mary's, the large church, not the chapel. And so, again, I'm sorting clothes. And I'm looking, and I come up with this full, now you got to remember we're talking 57, full army uniform. And in my twisted brain, the guys, it was Romano. I'll never forget this. I'm in the basement, and you dare me, and I'll do it. And enough of the guys knew that I'm nuts. I dare you to go back into the school, right? And go around. And so the dare's on. So Romano, fatigue, a hat, like I said, 50s Army outfit. And I would go into the main school, and there were like 2 floors in a basement. I started up top where my home room was. No, but it doesn't matter. I started, and I would look in, and if the nun was at the blackboard, I'd go like this, and they'd all see me, and the joint would rock. The 30 guys in each room were falling down. Then I'd run down the hall to the next room, and I'd give it one of these. I got suspended for a whole week. I got thrown out. Sister Honora, who was the principal, said, she's gagging. She goes, take a week off. Go home. I got suspended. And I had to turn in the Army fatigues. I was very upset.
Now that reminds me, we worked, the last time we had we worked together between the last set of shows and
Yeah.
this show.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have to tell the story of the Goodwill getting inside the.
Oh wait, June. Now the lady I go out with lives in Beverly. I live in Newburyport, and she came up to my condo and to pick me up because she's got a Subaru, and I drive a Hyundai. So she doesn't like the Hyundai. I don't know what it is. It's got wind-up windows, 8-track tape. What the hell you want? What more do you need? So now she goes, I'll pick you up, and she's got the Subaru Forester or Backtrack or whatever they call it, stupid thing. She come up the steps, she goes, and I said, the keys are in the closet. She opens the closet. And Fibber, McGee, and Molly, remember that, the closet? And she goes, you're going to clean this thing. It's a fire hazard. And she's right. I still have my Army fatigues in there from the 60s. I had Nehru suits because everything is a cycle. So I know they're coming back. Sammy and David Niven, but now they're coming back. So I got like 3 Nehru suits, Army fatigues. Dungarees, third world people sent back from Nigeria. We lose our self-respect if we wore his clothes. So now, I'm the only guy that gets care packages sent back, rejected. So now, I said, yeah, but they're all personal. She goes, Bob, just do this, and it's true. Get a big green leaf bag. Don't even look. Just go in there and just throw it. One morning, I just woke up. She's right. Something could happen. So I went in, bang, everything's gone. So I went down the street. We're in Newburyport, there's a school, and there were 2 Goodwill boxes there. So I went over, it was like in the morning, 7:30, and I went over and I got this bag, and I opened the box, and there's a plate, and push it, and boom, I said, that's done. I don't know, I know it's in there, it's gone. Well, I was so proud of myself, and I went to see Diane, I said, I'm done, it's clean. She said, good, for God's sake. That night, I was leaving a club, coming home, so happy I got a clean closet, and I opened the closet. Now you remember it's outside my condo, it's like a common closet. I opened the closet that I had just cleaned in the morning to get my keys to go into the condo. And then the light went on in the darkness, and I said, the keys are in that fatigue jacket that's in the green leaf bag at the bottom of the Goodwill box. It's about 10:30 at night. What am I going to do? Sleep in the fetal position in my Hyundai or call her up? I think I'll go down and see if I can retrieve the key. Getting older doesn't mean you get wisdom. So now I drive down, I pull into the parking lot, I put the hazard lights on because the police patrol the area and I don't look like a model citizen. So I go over to the Goodwill box. If you ever try to get in one of these things, especially when you're an adult, a physical adult, a mental child. So I open the door, and then there's a plate about a 45-degree. I'm hanging in there. I look like something at Stone Zoo. And I'm hanging down, and I'm trying to find the bag. And there were all these little kitchen bags, with the red ties on them. And I goes, oh, my God. There's got to be 15 more bags that were here in the morning because I heard it hit the floor, so my bag's way down the bottom. What am I going to do? I can't get in this thing. So I see a light on in the school. I go over to the school and I knock on the door, and this poor victim named Phil, I didn't know his name at the time. I goes, hey, can you help me out? What do you want? I said, my keys are in a green leaf bag in the Goodwill box. He says, I leave at 11, pal. So my Jewish friends have told me, if you want something, you kvetch. So I went into my kvetch. Oy vey, I got hemorrhoids, I got, all this. And the guy, really, it worked. Thank you. Shalom. So it worked. So now, he says, wait a minute. He calls his buddy. I'll be back in a minute. I got to help this guy get a phone number off the Goodwill box. I couldn't believe this. So I'm walking to the Goodwill box, and I said to the guy, let me shut the lights off in my car. He goes, yeah, all right. And then I said, I'll be right back. So I shut the lights off. I turn around, the guy is gone. I said, what a jerk. He couldn't have the DC to tell me he was going back into the school. And true story, you know this, you've heard it. I'm standing there in the pitch black, one like overhead light somewhere in the parking lot, and I hear this, "What color is the ball?" I thought it was the most surreal moment. I'm like, what did he project his voice? Where is he? I goes, "Where are you?" And he goes, "I'm in the box." I go, "Oh, no. This is candid camera. Alan Funt's coming right out of the tree, and Derwood Kirby, all of them. It's a put on." I goes, "You can't be. The thing is pitch black." He goes, "Don't worry. I've got a light." Well, I thought he had a flashlight. Cigarette lighter in a combustible paper plastic. I'm panicked. Now I'm going, "Pal, I don't need the keys. I'll sleep in the vehicle. I'll sleep in Please, God, please make it come out." And then I hear him on the cell phone. "Honey, I'll be home a little late. I'm outside the school. I'm inside a Goodwill box trying to help a guy find his keys." I'm walking back and forth going, "I'm leaving. I'm leaving. There's going to be a problem here. I'm out of here." Next thing I know, true story, first bag comes out, and I know mine's the green one, and I haven't got the guts to tell him he's got to go through 15 to get to that green one. First bag comes out, second bag comes out, third bag. Now, let me preface by saying I grew up in West Lynn, and I was poor. We weren't ghetto poor, but we were poor enough to get Christmas packages from Red Cross. So my mother and I were on the border. So I hold on to everything. Like I said, the Nehrus, the Army fatigues, like they're gonna call me up. I'd have to join the Women's Army. So now I don't let go of nothing, all right? So I'm like looking at these clothes. I'm from West Lynn, blue collar kid. This is Newburyport. All these donations were from pretty affluent people. So I'm looking over and I snap the bag open. I go, "Wow, Diana, I love this beautiful jacket." And if you can notice the pants I'm wearing, beautiful pants and shirt. I mean, I don't buy this kind of nice material, so I'm good to go for the rest of my life. And the poor guy's in the box. He's going, "What are you doing?" I says, "I'm looking for the key." No guts to tell him that I'm looking for clothes for Easter. So now I hear a vehicle, and I know it's the police, all right? And I'm saying these two rookies on the second shift, whatever shift, driving into the parking lot, routine, looking like, what the hell? June of 08, I got a little longer hair than I got now. I got shorts on, cutoffs, and it's like 11:30 at night, and they're looking. There's a guy obviously in his 60s, surrounded by kitchen bags, talking to the Goodwill box. And the box is answering him. So these two young rookie police, they pull up behind me. I did a spin. I turned around. I looked at the driver. He looked at me. He goes, "We don't even want to know." And they drove off. They drove off, and the guy in the box is going, "Who was that?" It's the police. They said, "Keep the bags coming." And after another 40 minutes, the bag came out. I got my key. Now I'm ready to leave. I forgot, I got to get this clown out. So now I got to push the bags in to get him out. And he goes, "Now you're going to help me. I'm going to hold the bar, and I'm going to steer my right leg." So I got his right leg out and half his bum. And I actually said, "Wait a minute." And he's going, "What?" I says, "I got to go to my car and get the camera. Nobody's going to believe this." Imagine the people at Walmart developing that going, "What the hell?" Really. And I got the guy out. His name was Phil. And I offered him some money. He was a religious kid. And so I brought him to a club and got him a meal and some drinks. And then he called me. When did he call me? A couple of weeks later to thank me. He goes, "This is Phil, the dumpster diving key retriever." I'm telling you. Like I was looking for that routine, and it was so funny. And that guy is still a friend of mine, He calls me sometimes, "You got your keys?" I go, "I'm all right." Again, insanity.
As they say, you can't write that
You
stuff.
can't write it. I'm like, nobody's going to believe it. In the first few nights I threw it out on stage, people go, that's funny. No, it happened last week. People go, wow, where do you live? I live in a little house. Oh, Tommy.
Well,
on and on.
That leads me to another clothing story. It'll take a while to get to the clothing story, but I was with you. What was the name of the critic for the Boston Globe? He had a place out in Framingham Club, and we used to work that Spinoza, whatever.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Anyway, he had this little restaurant, and downstairs they did the comedy. So I walked in on a night when you had taken a date, and what's her name, Donna? Is it Donna?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, so here you are sitting with this voluptuous blonde, and she's hitting on you, and it was a sketch, because I got to sit down with you guys, and she's hitting on you on how you need a relationship. And you're telling her, no, I don't. I've had enough. I don't want any more women. It's out of the question. She said, come on, Bobby, you know, you need some fun. Am I right? She's hitting on you, and I'm looking at her, she's all over this guy. She wants him. She's hitting on him. No, I'm done. I tell you, it's over. I don't want nothing. And I'm look at him struggling. But I know you're dead. You're a goner. Because she's going to get you. I mean, it was a matter of time. And so we had a great night that night, I think. But the relationship developed over weeks. Not even didn't take long, did it?
No.
All right.
Okay. Should I pick it up?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was involved in a triangular situation. The other gentleman was a friend from childhood. It almost broke our friendship, but it all ended up okay. And this young lady was...
Well, I didn't know that you knew. This is Jack. Did I get the name? Was it Jack? The guy she was dating?
I think it was. Oh, my God.
And you were friends with him?
Yeah.
As well as...
No, Jackie. Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
So we got into this contest, it's like... two bulls and So now, the relationship would go because the poor lady couldn't make a decision and all this insanity, and then she would throw the guy out, and then I got to backtrack a little bit.
So you started dating exclusively her for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was done with Jack.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got really hooked in.
Yes.
And you were living with her.
No, I was.
Well, okay, so you were spending nights with her. You were sleeping there.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So you go out of town to do it.
And he comes back.
Yeah. Well, one night. You had been dating her 3 months, so seeing her almost every day, having a great time. You go out for one night to do a gig. Jack is back.
Jack is back.
After one night.
Okay.
You call me and say, Jesus, I didn't know she's got abandonment issues, right?
Oh, God. The road less travel.
One night, you take off.
I was going for psychology classes. So now, this went on 10 different times.
I know, because you would call me every single time. She did it again!
You folks realize my life is not private. So I'm going to cut to the chase.
Okay, go ahead.
So now this went on many, many, many times until I said, I'm done. But when Jack would get thrown out and I would come back, she would give me all his clothes. And Jack was a meticulous dresser. He bought his clothes at very beautiful male haberdashery. Mine, more or less, third world. I'm on Route 1 at the Salvation Army. I'm not lying. Until I hit the dumpster jackpot. So now, people think I'm lying. So now, when Jack would get thrown out, I get all his clothes. And when I get thrown out, Jack never took any of my clothes. Because they'd always be there. Well, fast forward. You ready? Fast forward. We were going to a funeral of a mutual friend. And by then I hadn't seen the lady for a while, and Jack hadn't seen the lady for a while. But I was walking toward my buddy. We reconnected in a friendship way. He's walking toward me, and I'm walking toward him, and he looks at me and goes, "Nice clothes." from top to toe. It was all jacked. I mean, I didn't wear no herringbones, and I looked damn good. I'm telling you. You can't beat it.
Well, the way you explain it to me in the middle of it all, Jesus, I mean, you'd be heartbroken. You would try a hiatus for like a year, then you'd send her a postcard from Nantucket, wish you were here, and it would start all over again. And the cycle would go, and I'd hear you, you'd call me at the house, you're in awful pain, and you'd say, well, there's one good thing about this. Well, what's the good thing? Well, when Jack gets thrown out, he leaves his shirts there. And I get Jack's shirts.
And sport coats.
Well, I didn't know what the
yeah. I never wore none bush shoes.
Did he have the same shoe size?
Oh, yeah.
And you said to me, they're not cheap shirts. They're those Tommy Hilfiger shirts.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he says, but the problem is, I go around Newburyport and everybody knows I'm back with Donna.
Yeah, because of my dress.
They'd say, you're back with Donna, aren't you? Because you got a new shirt, you got a Hilfiger shirt on. And you told me one night you went to AA, and the guy says to you, you're back with, you told me, guy comes up and says, you're back with Donna, aren't you? And I said, how do you know? He says, because it's easy, because you got one of those Hilfiger shirts on. And he said to you, does she have any size? Remember? Does she have any size 16s?
Oh my God. I'll tell you.
Now, staying on that story, all right, so we have to work one night over in Vermont, Rutland area. And I had a place in New Hampshire that I had taken this. I was so proud of this place. I took an old barn. It was a horse barn attached to a two-family, and I converted it into this beautiful ski chalet.
God,
yeah, it had all these skylights. I was very proud of this.
Wasn't that Newport?
Yeah, Newport. And I had this, I was very proud. Everybody who came into the place, the first thing they said, oh my God, this place is gorgeous. Not you. You show up around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I got all my paperwork. I was working in the corporate world at the time. All my paperwork laid out on these 2 day beds that were in the upstairs. And you come up the stairs, and you're holding your stomach. Oh, no hello, hey, nice place, how are you? Oh, she did it again! And you come over to my day bed. I'm sitting on one, you're sitting, and you fall on the day bed in pain. Oh, she did it again, Jack's back! So now we're right, and we're in therapist patient position. I'm sitting up, you're on the couch, flat out, and I begin. And I says, well, you want to talk about this? Don't start! Do you remember this?
I don't, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Don't start, because I know where it's going.
Oh, God help me.
Where's it going, Bobby? You're going to tell me to break up with her. Well, I was going to suggest that. Don't even start. Okay. I said, we won't go there. I says, but have you ever thought that since she's dating other guys, maybe 1, maybe 2, we don't know, maybe you might at some point decide that you may want to date some other people? You remember what you said to me?
No, but go ahead.
Oh, geez, I couldn't do that. I said, why not? Because if Donna ever found out, she'd break up with me.
Oh, God. Oh, my.
And I said, well, that makes good sense. Actually, she can date these other guys, but if she finds out you're dating somebody else, it's over.
And that was in the early 90s.
Oh, God.
Nothing's changed.
That went on for quite a while.
4 years of madness. Oh yeah. And it's funny, like the girl I'm with now is like the most stable, you know what I mean? You never know. And this one, you know the story with Diana.
Yeah.
I dated her when
we talked about the last time that after 40 years, she...
Like 44 years, she kept
You told her, I knew you'd come...
I knew she'd come crawling back, but it's so funny, it's been stable. I'm like, wow, it's been 8 years today.
Thank God.
That her and I have
Congratulations.
been going out together after 44 years. That she was wandering around looking for me.
But she couldn't recognize you because you had a Hilfiger
Her
shirts on.
daughters are so funny. She's got 3 daughters. And when Rob had that chateau up in New Hampshire, Diana's second husband, who passed away in '03, was a quiet, handsome, quiet man. What a change. And taste that Diana developed. But he was a knockout, good-looking guy. But he never said 3 words in a month, all right? So Diana says to the daughters, you gotta go see Bob perform, okay? When they came to see me perform, Diana said to her daughter, what do you think of him? They said, wow. They said, what a difference from Paul. For the first 6 months, we didn't know Paul could talk. You know, and I'm like, how you know? And like, Jesus. And this is bang, and it's off and running, but it's true. It's, I don't know, my whole friggin' insanity. 2 marriages later, no, you know, like I say.
Well, that was quite a time.
It was insanity.
Well,
and that's without drinking and drugging. I used to say things would get better. God almighty.
So now let's get to the planes, because many passions. You love astronomy, you love planes, you love jazz, you love all kinds of music.
The diving
travel.
thing. When I started scuba diving.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah, when how old am I now? I'm 70. I was 60 when I got my ticket. And the funny thing is, they wouldn't give me my open water up here because I had just had throat surgery.
Oh.
And they said, no, you can't go, the pressure. I said, the hell with it. So I got on a plane and flew to Malaysia. Oh yeah, I'll show you. So when I got to Malaysia, I got certified to dive in Malaysia. So on the card it says Malaysia. People go, what the hell? He got certified indoor in Danvers, Mass, and then he got the outdoor in Malaysia.
Right.
So I mean, it's just incredible. But scuba diving has been a lot of fun. You know, Galapagos, Indonesia. I'm going to Honduras in 3 weeks to do some diving down there. And it's all because you people come to comedy shows. Keep coming, folks, because if you don't come, I'll be bagging groceries at Market Basket.
Well, let's talk about the flying, because I know that's a huge thing. Now, when we did your roast, who was it who told about coming in? I forget his name.
Leo.
Leo. Oh, I
My
love
friend
Leo.
Leo.
Very funny Leo guy. Go ahead.
Leo Wallace is a dear friend of mine. He's out of his mind. He's a few years younger. We met in the National Guard. We were both in the National Guard.
We're gonna close out this story.
Sure,
so we're gonna start up with that story next. All right. We'll be back. Please tune in again for the next Upbeat with Tom Hayes and Bobby Seibel. Hope you had a good time.